And we're in this bitch.
Hello.
How you doing?
Alright, we got
TGIF.
David back in here, and Zach, of course. Gonna go over a couple things. And I guess we could talk about the UFC fights coming up, or just, some UFC shit, just for the hell of it. But first thing I want to go over is the affiliate links that are on Facebook page. Got some new affiliate partnerships, and for those of you that don't know what that means, essentially, it's the same as going to their site. I'm not giving you nothing special, but well, depending, I do get some discounts, stuff like that I can use the links of. But essentially, just to help us out, if you're gonna buy from that company, just use our link, because that's essentially how simple it is. I'll just get a commission of a sale, or however each company does it. But it's a super cool thing that we're starting to be able to get some monetary action going for this podcast. So
cool
check them out. I'll keep putting some links on Facebook, and I hope to get some up on the website soon. Yeah, definitely cool companies. I use NatureBox. That cabinet over there is full of NatureBox snacks. I love it. Wink. There's some Wink bottles of wine over there. They're awesome. MMA Warehouse, we got also just some good clothing, workout clothing, all sorts of stuff like that. Alright, enough of that though.
It's cool. Cool stuff.
Yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
cool stuff. You should definitely check it out. I have.
Yep. So, but yeah, what's going on with UFC fights? You're always on top of this shit, man.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right. There's one fight coming up that I think everyone should check out. This is gonna be like the turning of the tides of the UFC, like middleweight division. And you're gonna have like two of like the top fighters right now. You got someone with like mad power, and he's got like infinite cardio. He doesn't slow down. Then you got a guy that's literally a freak athlete, but he slows down. His name is Yoel Romero. He's like the biggest dude in the division. Like,
Cuban superhero.
picture like how the people would like draw mythic gods back in the day with like huge jacked ass like muscles. That's him. Like, he's bigger than everyone in the division. But anyway, he's literally like, he's never lost.
Oh wow.
He's like even if he's losing, like, as you've seen, even when it was against like Kennedy or like Weidman, like he pulls it at his ass and just like
Weidman
rips into you and like
flying Weidman's face
front
off.
flip over him.
Yeah, that was insane. But who's he fighting?
Robert Whitaker.
Yeah.
He's actually, I
heard
believe, won like 7 or 8 in a row right now, and that's like unbelievable in the like UFC.
I've heard that name actually.
Yeah, he's really
I'm
good.
not good with names, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I'm saying. One of these days, I gotta pull you into my house and just like,
I know.
be like an all-day thing.
Yeah, I like study them. Yeah, exactly. Gotta get an 8-hour course in.
Yeah. And,
It's the only way.
But I think this fight's gonna be a lot more important because, like, no offense, I like Michael Bisping as a fighter. He's getting old.
He's got like
He's
one
been
eye.
around since I was
He's got like one eye.
yeah. But, well, no, he got that fixed.
Yeah.
What happened
As
to
much
it?
as
Oh, is this the guy that had it like?
tore his retina or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
He tore it to the point where I think he had to actually get surgery for it and like
His
keep it
eye-
Gotta
reattached.
suck, man.
His eye always looks like it's like completely
Kind of
like
veering
dilated.
off. Yeah.
Because it's like his like, I forget, his pupils sitting on top of like oil. They had to like put like oil in his eye to like
To keep
suspend
it positioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's gross.
And if
I
you
think-
look at his one eye, it just always looks like completely like dilated and like.
If I'm not
And he
mistaken,
can't really see too well out of it. I don't think.
that happen because of what Vitor did to him with that wheel kick?
Yeah, I think it was from. I think he.
Or
got-
was it Roundhouse? It was something devastating. He got hit hard.
I think it happened a few times, but I forget the exact time where it really got fucked up. I'm pretty sure he got a couple of like nasty eye pokes in his career. It's one of those. There's a couple of guys out there that like fight and just like always get poked in the fucking eyes and shit, or like.
Or you mean they're always poking people in the fucking eyes?
Well, no, there's a lot of people like.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I see what you're saying. Well, it could go both ways, I guess. Yeah.
John Jones always pokes people in the eyes. That's
Really?
'cause he like go to push someone
okay.
away.
He has that standing hand.
Yeah. They'll
Okay.
try to rush in and he
Yeah.
had his hand out like this and he'll run into a finger.
Yeah.
It's like.
Luckily, they changed the rules, so now that's illegal.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to put
Oh,
your
really?
hands out. If they do, you have to have open fists.
Yeah, fist.
I get
yeah.
why he does it. He's gauging it so, like,
Definitely.
someone goes too close, like, blow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got it to the point where he pokes someone like 2 or 3 times in the eye per fight. It's just like,
yeah,
come on,
so
like,
definitely, yeah,
it's getting a
close your
little
goddamn
insane,
hand. Yeah.
I mean, he used to do
How
that
about
earlier.
that? He's coming back. John
Yeah.
Jones is coming back to the table. Known as like one of the world's best fighters. He's lost one fight by disqualification because he used an illegal move he didn't know was illegal.
Yeah.
And beat the crap out of the dude.
What was the move?
Downward elbow
Yeah,
from 12 o'clock to like it was
okay.
down to like probably like 6. Like went straight down
It's the
on him.
stupidest rule ever. Like,
I mean,
Hey, he could fuck somebody up though.
I was
The
about
only
to say
reason
there's
that
been a
rule-
couple fuck ups in the UFC so far.
the only reason that rule's a rule is back when in the day when like the athletic
Seeing going
commission,
through ice and shit.
yeah,
like,
because they were afraid of like they seen the karate videos of the
Oh,
dudes doing
yeah.
like brick breaking with like the downward elbows. So like you're not supposed to be able to do it.
And yeah, if you get a karate guy in there that just started taking some boxing or something to get into MMA, then that could be a big issue.
But
Yeah,
then the whole thing is like you let people like shin kick each other in the head.
and
So
that's the other thing. Yeah,
well, that's Muay Thai then.
Well, yeah, but he's saying like that you're going to a different fighting style. There's something bad there that they're still allowing, probably. You know what I'm
you
saying?
get
So
really bad shin kicked like across your jaw. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
if that's probably worse than like just I don't know.
yeah, I wonder how
Depends on the
how they
situation.
go about like drawing that line with things and why they didn't why they haven't drawn them with other things. Yeah.
The things I know about the reasons of why is because how small the point of the elbow is and how much more of a chance you can break
yeah,
something when it hits.
I didn't think a shin is a much more spread out object. You're not pinpointing it. That is a very good point, actually.
You can knee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and at that point, it might just be because like, I don't know, the knee force isn't quite like.
It's hard to compare
yeah,
different.
exactly,
Like,
yep.
They all will
Yeah,
fuck
you can
you
put a
up.
lot of.
Yeah, and it's hard to just compare. I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe they do like scientific like number tests on this to see like how many pounds of pressure. Like, but like at the same, everybody's different, and yeah.
No, they
I don't
do.
know.
You should look up MMA sports science. It's actually a pretty cool thing they have
They
on
do
YouTube.
that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Awesome.
They measure people's punching power
Oh,
and stuff
cool.
like that. It's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
That's cool.
Like the strongest kicks in the world, they say, are Taekwondo, actually because how they like literally lift
They
their whole
whip.
body
Yep.
off the ground, just like comes up.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a show?
It's
MMA
just like
sports
little
science
things
thing?
they throw on. I think it's like ESPN or something. Like,
Okay.
welcome to the sports science lab or
Okay.
Yeah,
something.
it's like a little like
Taekwondo.
skit or whatever.
Taekwondo is like just from going to that place for jiu-jitsu. They do Muay Thai kickboxing there, and like I watched it like 15-20 minutes of like the end of a class when I first showed up that one day, and it's like to compare it to like Taekwondo. It is a lot different in that sense. They just kind of like pick their leg up and just they use it as like a fucking whip, but obviously a very heavy, very strong whip. Whereas like Taekwondo is more of like a quick kind of like snapping, tapping action. So it's like, yeah, I can definitely see why a Muay
like a
Thai kick is
baseball
like
bat compared to like a whip.
especially like Muay Thai is like definitely a lot of shin kicks and shit like that, whereas like Taekwondo you're like just tapping with like maybe the fucking curve of your ankle.
What do they
and
say
shit.
about Muay Thai? It's like the art of 10-limb combat or something like that, like fist, forearm, elbow, knee, shin, foot, or something like that. I think it's something like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Taekwondo's. I mean, I'm not talking shit on Taekwondo by any means, but I'm just saying, Muay Thai kicks are fucking nutty, man.
Oh yeah,
They're dangerous.
One thing I've always like said, it's not the art that's dangerous. It's the person that uses it. I mean, you can
Yep.
be like this crazy 7th degree black belt and like this or that, and like you probably couldn't even win a fight if you tried. And then there's other people out there that don't even have belts, and man, like they do some nasty shit.
And I mean, just as if you're a Muay Thai kickboxer, doesn't mean you're gonna win against a Taekwondo, like a Taekwondo fucking artist. You're not like it's just because like the kicks, comparably are more dangerous. Let's say.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're good. Doesn't mean you're gonna win everything.
Well, it's like with karate or fucking Taekwondo and Muay Thai. Taekwondo, a lot of it's like an emphasis on like point, like like a
Point
sport
spar.
karate. Or I keep saying karate, Taekwondo.
Yeah.
But in Muay Thai, it's just basically, I don't think there is like any sparring in Muay Thai. I think it's just basically you're just learning how to fight.
I mean, they put on like shin pads and stuff like that.
Definitely.
They wear the headgear. They wear like, I think it's like 14 to 16 pound gloves.
They
but
do
I think
some.
they prepare for like fights and compared to like Taekwondo, where they prepare for like
Oh no, they
sparring
go
matches.
hard.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's called hard sparring.
But I mean, in Taekwondo, it depends on what kind of. Cause there's different types of Taekwondo. And it depends on who you're learning it from and shit like that.
It's not really full force anything. It's just
I mean, you can learn how to kick really fucking hard in Taekwondo, but if you're gonna be like in a gym that like wants to have
as far as sparring,
they want to have like a bunch of like tournament champions or something. They're just gonna be teaching everyone.
There's more points. Yeah, you're just learning the technique. Where Muay Thai, you're putting the helmet on, you're putting your shin pad because you're going. That's how you a Muay Thai kick. You're not lightly going at it. You have to whip the motherfucker.
Trying to break something.
Yeah, so that's why they wear all the protective gear. But yeah, it's completely different from Taekwondo in that sense. They're not counting points and shit. They're just saying, okay, is your form right? Is your technique good? And how hard are you hitting? So that's basically how they go with that.
Man, I'm not sure if there's any like point.
I mean,
I don't
know if there's
there is points. Like if it goes to like the scorecards, like who won
in
by
competition, I'm sure there's points. But like obviously, like in the 20 minutes I was watching that class, for instance, they weren't talking about anything like that. They were solely just concentrating on technique and the form of form of your body when you're doing it to get the proper power and all that. So
honestly, it's like almost the same sense in Taekwondo, except in Taekwondo everything's just about form and trying to come in, hit them, and get back out right away. It's not trying to stay in the pocket, where Muay Thai is like it's based on in the pocket. You want to get in there, you want to use your knees, your elbows, your shins, everything.
Exactly, yeah.
Where Taekwondo is like it's all like
it's distance and
it's distance and reaction. Like if someone does this, like you got to start gauging them, bouncing forth and back and stuff, and like seeing how they react to it, throw some feints, see what happens. Or Muay Thai, they're all like, I've seen some crazy Muay Thai fights, especially with those amateurs. They just go in and try
and they're trying to just get in there. Yeah, either that or they're standing there and they're ready
just
for everything, but they're just going.
Shin.
Dude, that's like.
I did that twice in my life, and like at the bottom, not so bad. When it gets higher, it's like, oh shit, that fucking makes me want to cry.
Kick my heavy bag towards the bottom, like with my shins.
That's how
like,
you strengthen
a couple
your
days. Me and him started doing that on my heavy bag, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just
find the rocks.
A couple days, a couple times every day, and it's like
you don't need to do it too
You
much.
find any sides of the bag where it's like you find rocks. I always try and kick those out because then the rock shifts over to the other side, and it's like
right where the seam comes down. That's where it is. It's like, and then it's like a fucking brick wall right there, man.
It's a little knot.
Right at the bottom, yeah. You go like a foot up from the bottom, and it's like right on the seam.
Spot.
And oh man, it's like there's just a rock in there. Yeah, it's gotta be.
My summoner said also, like I do it. I got a piece of like what do you call it? Like a broomstick. I chopped one up at work because they threw it in the trash, and I actually use that, and I hold it and I rub it down real hard on my shin. I make it wet a little so it slides.
Okay.
And dude, it hurts so bad. And then Megan usually goes in the other room because I'll whack it on my leg like 6 times per leg, and it's like wet cracking sound. She's like, "No, I just can't do it."
That's funny.
But it hurts. It doesn't feel good. Like it'll bruise you up.
I mean, even kicking the heavy bag, man, that shit hurts. But like, honestly, after like day 3 or 4, I felt the difference.
Yep.
Like it was like
not as painful.
I could hit it a little harder, and it wasn't as painful.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
It's like you dig into it a little harder each time.
It's something that's really weird. Like I don't recommend people going home and hitting their shins with shit, but it's like it's a good point though. It's like for that kind of application, like that's something if you shin kick somebody and you don't got tough shins, that's gonna hurt you a lot more.
If you want to learn how to kick, you definitely want to like have strong like feet and like ankles and shins and shit, because like if somebody blocks it, like you catch like an elbow or somebody when you're coming in, it's like you're gonna like be tearing up when you put your foot back down. You're like, oh.
Actually, I actually heard the name of what it's called when basically it's like a bunch of small fractures and calcium deposits over it, but it's called microfracture recalibration. You make like a bunch of small fractures and they just fill in with calcium, and you just do it over and over again. That's like why you see like some like bull called Banshee and Mammoth like just kicking down a tree.
Now, do you like how does that is that only for certain bones? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Probably for all bones.
Yeah,
But,
I've
like-
seen Pete, like, you see those monks and stuff, they have their hand like this, and they'll have a bucket of dry rice, and they'll just, like, slam their fingers into it regardless,
Oh, you're
and
right,
make
you're
their
right,
fingertips, like, so strong. Like, I wouldn't want to be poked by one of
I was
them.
just trying to think, like, I don't know, like something like your kneecap or something. Is that gonna, you know what I'm saying?
That's cartilage. I don't know. I wouldn't play with
No,
something like
I
that.
mean the bone part of your kneecap.
Probably.
Would that do the same thing, or is it like, you know what I'm saying, or is
Yeah,
it
I-
only bones that's like, maybe thinner, or like, I don't know. Like shins and fingers. That's a little bit different than like a kneecap or like a thigh bone, or something. Are they gonna do the same thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think a thigh would be a bad thing. to
Yeah, I don't
test
think
it
that.
on.
That's why I feel like a shin and a thigh are a little different in that
There's
sense.
too much meat
Yeah,
around
that's
your
what I was
thigh.
gonna
You're just gonna be
say,
like
yeah.
hitting them.
Well, okay,
meat.
but I'm not talking in like a hitting,
Yeah.
like, but just in a bone, like, in that sort of like a
Hypothetical.
mini fracture fill-in kind of sense.
I'd only
I imagine probably it'd be like that for all
say,
bones.
yeah, it'd probably be the same, but like,
If it were to happen the same way, yeah, and that probably wouldn't happen on something like
yes,
that.
people, do not go home and beat your femur
Don't
to
do
death.
it, yeah.
I gotta strengthen my skull.
Oh my god, I seen this crazy thing on Dr. Phil like quite a few years ago, but it was this dude that wanted to get into UFC, and he was like in high school and stuff, and he did what this thing called was
No.
it was like a chin toughening thing. He'd let people punch him in the face or something. It was crazy.
That'll do it.
And they had like Forrest
That's how you
Griffin
do
in
it.
there and like Dana White, and they were like, "Yo, kid, like none of our fighters did this when they were kids." Like Forrest Griffin's like, "Yeah, dude, I went to college and did all this." Like a lot of UFC fighters, like really intelligent human beings, and like we went all over the place and stuff. We're not like letting people punch us
Yeah.
in the face. Like that's not what we're about. We
That's
do this
hilarious.
because of sport. We're not doing it just to like prove people we can take a
See,
hit.
that's where people misunderstand the sport or just the art, like martial arts and in general. Like, yeah, that is not what it's about, man. You don't just like, oh, I want to get into like fighting. Like, can you like punch me in the face a couple times so I get used to like fighting? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
Believe it or not, there's gyms over in Brazil where they make you all line up against the wall.
Dude, there's some in
And
other
they
countries,
go off
man.
on you like
Ah,
it's
seen
like you got to
crazy
learn how to
videos.
take a hit. You can't just stand there. There's some people that take the
Uh-huh.
and like you start doing that, they hit you harder.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck.
Yeah, no, I've seen some messed up stuff, man. Like yeah, just toughness training, and it's like, what? Why don't
I
like?
bet all those guys are like, yeah, I do toughness training, they're like slurring their words and
Yeah.
like can barely like keep eye
Dying
contact with
brain.
you.
Yeah, and they're dead at age 40 or something.
They get
dude.
into a fight and they get hit like a couple times and get knocked the fuck out and they're like, what? I was doing my toughness. I guess I didn't do enough. You gotta hit me some more. And you can't figure out why he gets knocked out every fight.
They
Because he
don't-
walks into the fight with a headache already.
They don't try to figure out why they're dying so young, because they just die from a fight or something. So they're just like, oh, he just got killed. Like, it's okay. He was fine. He was healthy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Believe it or not, there's such thing as over sparring. Like there's
Oh,
UFC
God,
fighters that
man.
have come in and overtrained. Like Vanderlei Silva, like dude has such a hard work ethic, but there's times where he just like
yeah, it's not
Punch
even.
drunk.
It's
Yeah,
not even
just
about
like-
just like getting
not
hit.
even that, just like going out and not having a chin, just getting hit and falling out. It's like, dude, you gotta. Not every spar you have to like just bite down, and throw as hard as you can.
It's
Your opponent
crazy.
do the same. It's not supposed to like
Yeah.
I do that every once in a while in my gym if my trainer lets me. It's not like I'm gonna just go in there and like mollywop the crap out of him.
It's like you look at Vanderlei at the beginning of his career too. It's
What?
like
What did you say?
you look at Vanderlei at the beginning of his career too, and it's like no homo. He's like kind of like a fucking like handsome guy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end of his career, he looks like a fucking ogre and shit like that, and like yeah, just like you look like barely talking,
Exactly.
and like all that shit with the UFC when they like tried to piss test him and he ran away and like.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
literally ran right out of the doctor's
I
desk.
know. I saw that thing.
And they
yeah,
showed up to his
that's messed up.
house and he pieced, but. What
No, he was in the doctor's office. He went to the doctor's office from what I heard.
I believe.
I think no. I'm pretty sure you guys are. I'm pretty sure it happened 2 different times.
Or maybe he was at his gym.
He had. Yeah, I think he was at his gym. Yeah, you should look that up because I don't want to talk about shit that I don't know about. But I'm pretty sure you guys are saying 2 things that I remember. So what I think happened is he was at his gym or something, and they went to test him, and he like somehow said like kind of thing like, oh, I just went to the bathroom kind of thing. So he got out of that, and then they showed up at his house and he ran, I think. But yeah, check that out. But yeah, point is like just avoiding it one time is just like, come on.
And then they fucked him because like
You're doing that as like
banned him for life.
Who's that, UFC?
Vanderlei.
Oh,
The Nevada State Athletic Commission banned Vanderlei Silva for life because he ran away from the drug test.
For UFC at least, he can be fighting Chael Sonnen in
Japan.
Bellator on a pay-per-view.
Probably in Bellator or something, or like.
Even if it's just a different athletic commission or something, yeah.
That's where they always do those fights in like Indian game.
Yeah.
Because they don't there's like crazy rules where they like don't have to like follow like state rules and shit or some shit like that.
He was suspended 3 years after his
Damn.
after he walked out on a drug test in 2014.
I remember I heard Chael Sonnen talk about this though. He was like, because the first person once they got the USD or whatever the USDA involved or whatever it's called, the like strict drug testing that they started doing like a couple years ago. Chael was like the first person who got popped for that shit, but he said it was like sketchy as fuck because like some dude just like randomly came up to him and was like, "Yo, I need your piss," and like refused to like give him like any sort of like information on who he was and
think
shit
I
like
remember that too, yeah.
And Chael like the whole time was just like he like took him into like a fucking like janitor's closet like at this place and like made him like piss in a jar like and watched him like pee, like looked at his like that's like what they do, they watch your dick. And like
straight up.
So like basically Vanderlei was the next person that they were gonna go check out, and what probably happened was like the same thing, but Vanderlei like wasn't about it too. Like he probably knew what was going on. He's like, this guy's a drug tester, but there's also like the fact that like this random
he wasn't
dude,
given any information. Yeah.
So I mean, but if Vanderlei
Here, piss in this cup for me. No.
The thing about it is like Vanderlei like in no way like calmly like told his side of the story. He's just like, fuck the UFC, fuck the Dana White, they tried to I'm a legend in sports.
So
and they
he just got heated and just started.
And then the USD was just like, well, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, well then get the fuck out. Straight up.
They
He probably, honestly, that's probably his goal though. He probably didn't want to leave, because think about it. If you're gonna deny the drug test, obviously you have something to hide. So he didn't want to just walk out of the UFC, and they had to drug test him regardless if he was staying in.
It's funny.
So he probably just caused a scene so they'd say, okay, get out then. And he was like, okay, thanks.
Vanderlei's technically never popped on a drug test and anything ever, but
that was one of the big speculations of why they tested him. It's like I guess they were watching him on Ultimate Fighter and seeing his physique and stuff, and it said like, well, he's never failed a drug test, but he's actually been tested less than most fighters. So they went to his gym and they gave him the drug test, and he literally ran out. Like they didn't even know he left for a little bit.
Okay, so he ran out of his gym.
And then
we just heard of a whole
he never actually took the test. He actually like had to go to court because like the athletic commission, if you fail a test, they find the fuck out of you. It ain't easy. Like
and
when I was about to get into amateur and stuff, like if I failed a drug test, it said right on the form I was getting fined $20,000.
And I'm pretty sure if you run out, that's probably like
he got fined $70,000.
They probably take it as a fail. Yeah, that's typically how things like that go. Like,
but they find him like more hardcore than if it was like worst case scenario.
Because they'd rather you just fail it. Yeah. He said, well, no, I'm not even taking it. And they said, well, now you're breaking the rule, and it's considered a fail, so fuck you.
Well, this is a power trip at that moment. It's like, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, that's all it is, yeah.
There's like you're an athletic commission. You're not like cops.
Well, no, but they got rules, and that's how they enforce them, because nobody's gonna want to do that again.
Yeah, they definitely like made like an example out of him.
Yeah, I mean they got their rules, man. It's like
I'm not pissed about it.
Word. So we could have a surprise guest.
Yes,
is
sir.
What you're telling me? All right.
Mud butt.
You're gonna be pissed about that one.
Oh, well.
He's like, fuck. Nah, yeah, I don't know. That's fucking the whole drug testing thing. With that, what the fuck were you telling me? Which guy was that you were telling me with the supplement company? And then I looked it up, and it was more of just Frankie Edgar. Yeah. He was telling me, because from the last UFC fights, that he was starting his own supplement company or something along that. Like he heard something, he saw something, so I checked it out. And like I don't know if he's like actually making his own supplements or like shit like that, but I don't know. Point is, I checked out. He has like a Facebook page about it. I forget what it's called. But yeah, it was like I don't know. He's like partnered with
The
from
Iron
what it
Army or
seems.
some
Yeah,
shit.
the Iron Army. That's what it was. The Facebook page.
Oh, I heard that's like taking off right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just like really starting to begin, but like from what I could see at the time that I looked at it was like he was kind of partnered with a lot of supplement companies and stuff. But yeah, it was like just kind of starting out, so I think it's probably like worth a look.
I'll definitely look into it. I mean, I looked into just about anything. If you say it's like health on it, man, I'll look it into.
That's
it.
what I'm saying. I look at so much shit like that, like all the shit that obviously I'm into, like nutrition and all like supplements, all that shit. I look at all like one of our affiliates. It was a random affiliate. It's not something I'm super for, but I saw it. I checked out some of their products and they were decent, so that's why I went for it and they accepted me. So, but I think it's bulksupplements.com, but they have some like decent shit and it's actually fairly cheap because they sell it in like a larger amount. But like yeah, it's just a matter of there's so many different companies for shit like that, and it's really just a matter of their ingredients. I'm really particular with that. I would rather, especially for like protein powders and stuff like that, supplements especially, I want it to be natural. I don't want them to put a bunch of shit in it that's for like preservatives or like anything like that. It better not be in there because that's like the one thing that I'm buying that's supposed to be strictly for my health. It better not have bad shit in it. And you'd be, with how many companies there are that sell that kind of shit, you'd be surprised with how many companies use shit that they probably shouldn't.
It'd be kind of interesting. We should get my cousin on the phone. He actually owns a shrimp farm down in Florida, and he makes his own supplements out of everything he like grows.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Probably
it's pretty
omega
badass. He's
3s
a
and shit.
professional nutritionist. He's like done a bunch of
Really?
other stuff. He's been doing this for years.
You have to reach out to him, man.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, we
Even
talk
if
every
it's-
once
yeah,
in a while. He's
just on
always
the
trying to like
phone
get
or
me
something.
doing supplements. Like there's a lot of stuff he's veered away from. Like since I first started talking to him, like he used to be all about certain things, and he's kind of
So
veered
he
away
kinda,
from. It's
like,
like it's not
got
as
it.
good as it really is.
Okay, yeah. So we kind of learned.
That's good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like he says, like the best supplements you probably could get from stores would be like a GNC, like the actual brands of GNC, but the prices are so jacked.
See, some of that shit can be expensive. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to shout out the company I get my shit from just because I'm trying to get them as a sponsor and shit, and we're not. But
All right, real quick. Never listen to anyone at GNC.
dude, honestly, yeah, at a store, I don't like going to stores for shit like that because
I'll just
those
go
are
right
people that
off
are
or
just
like the online or something at
that's
that point.
that's a minimum wage job. They don't know what
Yeah.
they don't need to know what they're talking about.
They're not
They might
professionals.
exactly, yeah. They're not nutritionists.
Yeah,
They're-
don't ever listen to them when they're like, "Yeah, I've been doing this for years." Like, don't listen to them. Look
I
up
mean,
the
you could-
product before you buy
Yeah,
it.
look it up. You can take their consideration, take in their consideration, but like I just said that way wrong. It's fucking yeah, no, listen to what they're saying, but it's they're not nutrition. They don't need to be a nutritionist or a dietitian to fucking get a job there. So they don't really know what they're talking about for sure. They could. You never know.
Just gotta have a
why I'm
common
saying.
sense of what
Yeah.
what everything is. I
Exactly.
guess.
Like if I
yeah,
worked at a place
pre-workout.
like that and I was like, somebody asked me about like a protein bar or something, I could probably tell them everything they need to know about it, but I wouldn't want them to just trust me. Look it up. Like I'm not a nutritionist. Same with all the shit I say on the podcast. I'm
Yep.
probably a little wrong about some of the shit I say just cuz like yeah,
If you be full
it's,
feeding
it's
you
off
bullshit.
my brain. I'm not like researching it on the spot, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of supplements and shit. You gotta be careful. So if you're gonna get something nutritional wise like that, you better be actually nutritional and not have bad shit in it because it's just pointless, counterproductive.
A lot of stuff advertises that it's healthy and
Oh.
like actually isn't.
My gosh, I'm sorry to change the subject here, but I just got myself heated about something, man.
Tom's about to get it.
No, we got this new thing at work, all right, and I got to bitch about it because it's absolutely ridiculous. All right, we haven't started it yet. It's a computer program for warehouses, and it's called iWarehouse. Okay, they're implementing it in my warehouse at work. Every forklift has to have this separate screen on it that's about yay big. Okay, we now have to sign in to each forklift to use it with our badge, and our badges to clock in, which is like it's like a proximity chip, so you just gotta like put it near the sensor. And so the point is, you put the card near the sensor of the computer and it signs you in. Now if you weren't on that forklift at all, that day. You have to complete a checklist. And the checklist used to be a matter of putting your initials on a piece of paper so that they could file it for OSHA. Now, on this new computer, we got to fill out like this 10, 15 question checklist of like, are your forks bent? Yes or no?
Oh, okay. I
And
do
then-
something like that, but just not on a thing. Like, it's
Okay.
more like a checklist. Every day you have to write the
So-
date, and it's like
Oh,
literally
yeah.
like 25 questions. Check, check, check,
Okay,
check,
yeah.
check, check.
So it's basically the same thing, but it's on a computer, touch screen, computer screen, okay? That's not the issue. That's awesome because now they're holding people accountable. Okay, the only thing I have a problem with that part of it is that if I get off a forklift, which I have to do a lot because our warehouse doesn't operate where you just take a forklift and you're on that the whole day. No, we got to do a million different things. So if I get off a forklift, I can sign on to another forklift if I need to like get a smaller truck to fit in a trailer or something like that. But if I don't sign out of the forklift that I just got off of and somebody else uses it and crashes into something,
You're accountable.
I'm on the fucking... So now we gotta like sign in, sign out of everything every time we get on and off a forklift. If we were never on that forklift today, we gotta spend a minute or two and answer all the questions accurately. If we don't answer the questions accurately and we answer one wrong, even if it's just like a finger mess up and it's something critical, like, are the forks bent and you hit yes by accident? Because they alternate, the yes and the no. They move around, so you can't just hit the same thing every time. They try to trick you. Have to pay attention. Well, guess what? If you mess it up, the forklift won't work
No.
until your supervisor resets it. Same as if you hit something hard. It has like technically like a 3-level alarm. If you just tiny bump something, it's gonna calculate it, but it won't set off anything. You hit something pretty decently, it's gonna set off an alarm, and you're still gonna be good. It'll just send a notification to the supervisors and shit, but you'll still be good. If you really hit something, an alarm goes off, your truck slows down to 1 mile an hour, it has to be reset by a supervisor in order to work again properly, and an alert goes out to everybody, on the program. Plus, they would follow up with you, and they want to know what the fuck happened because you really fucking hit something. And that's all good. That's the part I like. Well, guess what? We just had another training yesterday. This fucking program now, on a daily basis, let's say I'm supplying production with parts, I gotta scan a part out of like a location on the rack and put it to the primary, which is like for production. Okay? Now I have to do that on our scanner for the computer system. But now the iWarehouse program wants to know what we're doing at all times. It's calculating how the time that we're doing each job, we have to select each task that we're doing on that thing. So if I'm ripping for this line, I gotta select that line. I gotta go to like, oh wait, I gotta take this bin of cardboard to the scrap trailer. Okay, now I gotta go to waste. Now I'm taking care of waste. Do you realize we're gonna have to take 10 times longer to do every single thing?
It's good for like logistics.
It's
but
good for
bad
logistics.
Productivity.
But here's the thing: they had me up until the task selection, because that we're already doing on our scanners. You can see what we're scanning, when we're scanning it, how long it takes us to scan it.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't do the math. They want this program to do it for them. So we're gonna have to, within the next 3 weeks, we're gonna have to fucking do everything, and it's gonna take 10 times longer. I'm pissed about it. I had to vent. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Get that out of your system.
My girlfriend literally just texted me something. We were just talking about drug testing in the UFC, and she's actually got a solid point. It's probably the best
How
thing
did
I've
she
heard.
know?
No, we were talking about
It's
this
like-
earlier,
oh.
so it's just like
I was
she's a
like,
UFC
shit.
freak too, like me, but like she
I
just
thought she was somehow like watching
Yeah,
a
it'd be
live
crazy.
stream that we weren't streaming.
yeah, she's like random
David's
thought.
got like a spy cam on it.
Yeah. We could be live streaming.
I mean,
this from
she's got a
phone.
point though. Am I wrong? She said basically, if someone fails a drug
Well, yeah,
test,
let
why
me
not
just
give
read
them
it.
free?
Let me just
All right,
read
go
it. Yeah,
ahead.
it's just like what the fuck. Yeah. Okay.
Girlfriend's a smart cookie.
So I'm starting right here.
Yep.
Is that correct? Okay. Thought about the drug testing in the UFC. If someone fails a test, they should have to take more frequent tests, like a lot more frequent. Also, one person fails, maybe test them all. That's a good point.
Everyone in the gym, yeah. If
'Cause
one
it's like-
person's juicing, more likely someone else they're getting it from
Yeah,
or
exactly.
giving it to.
Yep.
I think they kind of do that. I think they kind of go like crack down on gyms.
Well, okay, but even if they do, like, it's just something to think about, I guess. And I mean, I'm sure not all gyms do it, even if they do. But then you'll be getting rid of all the bad eggs for exactly. Yeah, you'll be able to ream them out before you have a problem in an actual tournament or something.
Yep.
Probably make more people not want to do it as often as they do now. Yeah, that's true. Cause like cause now you got to worry about everybody else. If one person fails, you don't want to be the guy also doing it because now everybody's getting tested. So yeah, they would start to think about that. Yeah, that's a good point
I
though.
don't think it's as prevalent as it really was. I think
Well,
at this point it's just kind of getting like they're like there's not many ways to get away with it, and the ways that are
Yeah, but
are probably like really crazy and like
That's kind
expensive.
of dangerous though, because they're almost getting to the point where they're getting like comfortable with how it is because they think they're good, and then people are gonna figure out a way to do it. So
That's what they do.
they need to make it. Yeah, like that's a very good. They need to make it a very strict. Like here's how it is.
This is how long I can use it, and before I have to get off it to clean that piss test. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Don Young Kim says almost everyone in the sport uses. They all do it some way or form. Just have different ways of getting away with it. You
I'm
gotta think
sure
these
so
guys are
many
dealing
people
with
probably
like the most professional nutritionists on the planet. They got ways. They got ways of cleaning their piss and stuff. Shit, I could clean my piss like.
I know.
Let's say like I had the hottest piss in the world. Like, don't they have that drink at GNC?
They have like system cleaners and shit, but yeah,
You
it's
can
really
test for the cleaners.
They're a little iffy. I've heard some
Especially,
people
yeah.
working and some people not working.
something as official as that.
probably
They're
testing
they're
for it.
gonna know if you had that type of supplement in your body. They're gonna be looking for that because it's just such a normal
Probably.
over-the-counter thing.
Well, see, what
But-
I actually learned about that stuff is it's not actually cleaning your system. What it does is it's almost like
No.
a gel it coats your whole
Yeah,
organs
but-
with, and then you
But
start
they know,
drinking.
but they know the things that do that.
Oh, yeah,
They know
yeah.
the over-the-counter things that they would sell in a GNC drink or something like that are gonna do those kind of things. So they start to look for those side effects or those chemicals, something like that. But like. Yeah, there's more like I'm sure there's more like natural ways of doing it that they can't really test for because it's in like all food kind of
Yep.
thing. That kind of chemical like I don't know. I'm sure there's tons of shit like that there's totally people getting away with it obviously still. So there must be ways.
I heard about they're like testing people. The people were getting popped because like the IVs that they were using like plastic IV tubing, and somehow they could test
Rehydrate themselves.
Well, they could just test for the plastic cut from the tubing or something, and they could pop people.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
They got
and-
Yeah, what they did is
but
like
what they started doing is they would take the fucking like veins from pigs and shit like that, and they would use that as the tubing instead.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
I mean,
man.
yeah, it's the most healthier way of doing it, but like that's to the extreme. But he brought up a good point. People nowadays in the UFC, they're not allowed to do it anymore. But they used to shed so much water weight that at the end of like weighing in and stuff, they take a water bottle and put an IV just to pump more water into their body, so their body wouldn't go what is that, catabolic? Yeah. So their muscles wouldn't start breaking
Yeah.
down on themselves because they
That's
do such
fucked up.
harsh weight cuts. It's like you always want to be the
Fucking
bigger
hate that.
fighter, and
That
it's like
pisses
that's not
me off.
always the thing.
I
What's
hate
like-
weight cuts. They're so dumb. We talked about that on the other podcast. What are you saying? I'm sorry.
Technically, the best way to rehydrate would be with an IV, but
It's illegal now.
Yeah, they just ban it just because it's like their whole thing is just like if you really need, you shouldn't be like
Yeah,
You
getting
shouldn't
that
need
low.
to do that. Yeah.
Yep. And that's important.
And
Yeah.
everyone was kind of
Fucked
worried
up.
when they were gonna ban like the IVs, just like because they knew somebody was gonna. I think one fighter did die right once they did like the IV ban. I don't think it was in UFC. It was in somewhere else, different organization,
Okay. Yeah.
like fucking.
But yeah,
King of the
because they're
cage.
so used to
But
that
yeah, they
sort
knew
of
somebody was
rehydration.
gonna try to just like do it like they normally did it, and then not have the IVs from afterwards. And it's like your like organs and shit start shrinking, and
Yeah.
your brain.
Taking a sip of water ain't good enough,
Yeah.
and they still train the same. Yeah. That's terrible.
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
think
Chris.
that's some Asian guy.
Chris Weidman and Chael Sonnen, in my opinion, do the smartest weight cuts. Even though Chris Weidman's almost killed himself multiple times with it, like dude just packs on muscle so easy, and then when trying to lose the weight, it doesn't come off. But like Chael Sonnen would have it to a point where like the day after weigh-ins, he'd like eat all fruits and vegetables and like small bits of like pasta and stuff and mix everything in there to just like get the weight back. And like the next day he'd be at like 210 and he weighed in at 185.
But as far as like, okay, but that's like recovery wise.
Yep.
But does he still do like as stupid of a weight cut, like of actually
like
cutting the weight?
Cutting like 50 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay,
cutting in
so
50 pounds. Yeah, in like a month.
I still disagree. At least he's recovering in a better way. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I just disagree with.
Well,
the
let's
weight
say
cuts
he
in
used to
general.
do that. He's moved up weight because I think to 185. He cut from 230 to 185. Now he's cutting from 230 to 205. 'Cause I think 185 was just like harsh.
Yeah, it's
Now
messed
he's
up.
over in Bellator, so
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone in Bellator getting popped for any supplements.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time actually.
In Bellator?
Oh yeah.
Are they strict?
I wouldn't say they're strict as UFC. Like you can get popped, and it seems like the fighter's fighting like a couple months later. It's like where the UFC's like, bam, fucking dog, like hitting you with a weight paper towel.
I think
and
it's
shit.
a little
Like,
bit
what the hell's wrong with you?
looser in Bellator. Some of those fighters look a little fucking gigantic in
Yeah, that's what I'm
Bellator.
saying. Like walking out looking like freaks.
It's like, oh.
Did
okay.
anyone watch Rory McDonald beat Paul Daly after Paul Daly talked all that shit?
No, didn't he submit him, I think?
Yeah, first round, I believe. I can't remember.
Damn.
It was hilarious.
Who is that again?
Rory McDonald. He used to be a fighter in the UFC, but he wasn't getting compensated the money.
Yeah, Paul Daly was saying, like,
Is that
Mud.
fellow conspirator? Conspirator. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
what's up, bro?
We're getting into conspiracy.
I'm actually at Frank Tom's doing a podcast.
My bad, I didn't mean to call you.
No, we're kind of like waiting for you to come over.
I can chill till like 8, but
Maybe
I
you
guess I'll
should
be over around.
All right, bro.
Alright, peace out.
All right, like,
All right, cool.
that's all you want to say.
Yeah,
It's like, all right.
I was
just
about to
try
tell
and
you.
cut this short.
About to tell you, don't put that on speakerphone because he probably has no
My
idea.
speaker doesn't work on the other way. That's the only speaker on my
Oh.
phone that works.
So yeah, it's a good
That's
thing.
Zach. If I try and do it all, he's like, "Hello, you hear me?" Like, what?
That's good.
What'd
you
you
need to get a
say?
new phone,
That was
man.
a good one. Actually,
It still
dude,
works though.
It's funny. I think I'm gonna
No,
buy a
it
new
doesn't.
phone.
You just told me
Yeah.
it was broken.
No, it still works. So I just talked to someone. I mainly text on my phone. I don't like talking to
you
people
just
on my
talked
phone.
to somebody, but you had to do it on the World Wide Web in order to do it. It's like you couldn't just talk to him. Not that it's a problem, but alright. So yeah, no. But so wait, what the hell is he doing?
He's gonna be over then in a little bit, and he said he can only chill till 8 though. So I'm not sure what time
Well,
it is
whatever.
right now.
It's
I'll figure it
6:45. So I don't know. He's probably I don't know. But whatever. We'll finish up the podcast. We'll do something
Yeah,
else
we'll
with
figure it out.
Jake. Yeah, absolutely. But cool, man. I don't know. Shit. What else do I want to go over here? Just typical podcast, chilling.
We need more fucking volunteers.
Oh yeah, more volunteers. We're getting something though. It's crazy.
I wonder if my buddy Paul would want to do this, to do that one, the international and stuff. I could talk to him if you'd like.
Dude, absolutely. Anybody, really, man. At this point, it's like I just love the direction we're going. I just love the opportunities we're getting to have, and I don't know, man. We're gonna get some. Speaking of that, I guess I'll shout out. We're probably, I don't want to say for sure, but we're probably gonna get a couple more artists in here just because of, obviously we had some interest based on the artists that we had in here the other day, Joey. So, hopefully we can get some more local artists, help out the community, start promoting some people. It's super cool that they can, that they're putting themselves out there, like, that they have the motivation and everything, the talent to do it all. So I want to like kind of
Shout outs.
rep that. Yeah, I mean it's certainly pretty cool. But I mean, I'm not just into music here, ladies and gentlemen. If you got, I don't care, you're into sport, you're an athlete of some sort, like whatever the fuck it may be, it like shit, I don't know, anything, you do
Just
anything.
Like to think about things.
Yeah,
Like-
even if you just want to hang out, just email us, contact us at changingconversational.com. You could message us on Facebook, anything really.
Check
and
out the links.
Absolutely, check out our website.
Check out
You
the
can basically
Nature
get to-
Box and Wink and
Yep, all our affiliates. Yeah,
Use
like
our
I said,
links.
those are the things that like I don't want to promote anything that I don't like, that I don't use. Like I just said, I have 4 bottles of Wink wine sitting over there. That cabinet is full
It's
of
good
Nature
wine.
Box snacks. It's good wine. It's not expensive. It's not like, top of the line, but it's like
Drinkable.
oh,
It's decent wine, I'm
it's
guessing.
decent,
for
yeah,
the price.
absolutely. Dude, the bottle started at $13, man. I think I searched a good bit on the site, and I didn't even see one over $35. Now, a lot of people, I don't know, if you're super into wine, you're probably not even going to want any of it because you might be into more expensive wine. But at the same time, we're not all rich, so
If you're just trying to try some shit.
it's wine. Yeah, that's the other thing. They got this crazy way of doing it where you can pick your own wines, but they'll also just kind of ask you a bunch of questions to get an idea of like what kind of foods you eat and your palate, and then they'll just recommend 4 wines for you. You don't even have to really do anything. You just have to say, okay, send it to me.
It's like most people probably don't even like really know what like kind of what wine they like or
No,
anything
and
like
that's
that.
when you go to the store for wine, you gotta like bother somebody. You gotta ask them. You gotta hope they know what they're talking about. You gotta take their opinion, that's just their opinion. That's one person. This company kind of just does it all for you. They're like,
Yep.
okay, we'll give you all the information. You can read it right here. And then also, we're kind of experts, so we'll recommend shit for you because we know, based on these, I think it's like 6 or 7 questions they ask you. And they get a pretty, I liked the questions. They were pretty decent, like in-depth questions. The first one was like, what do you eat for breakfast? So you can kind of get an idea of like where they're going with that. They want to get a full like breakdown of like your
taste
palate.
almost,
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. Nature Box just has a ton of snacks. They're cool.
Good for you.
Yeah, and healthy. Yeah, you don't have to
Trying to
worry
be
about.
good for you as hard as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they have all sorts of shit, even like unhealthy shit, but they
Pretzels,
still
there's,
make
like-
it. They still make it like as good as possible. They use good ingredients and shit like that. It's super cool. I like it.
It's nice to get snacks delivered. It's something you don't really think about. And you're like, oh, I can
Yeah,
want a
exactly.
snack. And then
Plus, I don't know, online shopping is amazing because there's promo codes, there's discounts.
there's always
go
a
to the
discount.
store-
And everything's cheaper
Yeah.
online, too.
You can compare shit so much easier.
Yep.
Like prices and whatnot. You can get like
Not that you can compare from other sites, though, and always break out with the best deal. Because like places like Walmart used to have that, like, what is it? Like you go in and be like, all right, this person has something cheaper. I want it that cheap. Now they don't do that anymore. So it's like,
Yeah, because they're always about their low prices. Man,
everyday
Walmart,
low
I
prices.
heard some shit about Walmart. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit on it. Fuck it. Actually, fuck it because Walmart kind of sucks in that way. It's like, no, but like, I don't know. I think it was my uncle, maybe. I don't know. Somebody I knew. They would like refuse to shop at Walmart because of how they treated like their employees in general. Just like across, like as a corporate company, not like a specific Walmart. Just like as far as wages, I think they actually made it a little better now.
Yeah,
think their
it
rates-
depends how long you've been there. I think at that point, it's like if you've been here like 10 years,
but-
they start taking care of you. Kind
But
of
no, I think that was the issue because they didn't. They would just like they'd pay everybody kind of like shit, even if they've been there fucking 20 years, and they're still like they're selling like every company's shit for a decent price. So like they got obviously they're a good company. Walmart's not going to go out of business.
Not
So-
really. We'll
So-
be
but
the
there's
dust
still,
in the ground before
I don't know.
that
There was
happens.
just a lot of controversy, I guess, about shit like that with Walmart. But I don't know. I think they did change the minimum wage. I don't know for sure. Fuck it. I don't care.
I have a
It's Walmart.
friend. She actually works up here as a manager
At
the
Walmart?
Walmart. She's
Yeah, and
not
that's
like
what I mean.
enthusiastic or
enthusiastic. about it, yeah.
about what she makes, but like she's like like I've been there
That's
for a
good.
while, so I'm making what I'm making.
See-
And the thing she's like, if I ever want to move, there's Walmarts everywhere. There's no place where
That's another
it's,
good part, yeah.
Like a Walmart's an hour out of the way. There's like no place really like
No.
that.
Yeah, half hour tops. You could
And
get
she's
to a
like,
Walmart.
since I'm a manager, like they would have no problem like switching me from place to place. Like my company, I'd be kind of fucked. Like I'd have to go to a sister company, so I'd have to kind of choose like where I'd want to like move
Yeah,
to.
I mean, and that's one plus about Walmart for sure. And I mean, that could be why they decided to, choose certain. I don't know. I don't know the details either. I was just speculating. Companies kind of suck sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're an employee, it's just I don't know, some bullshit.
my parents always refused to go to Walmart because it's like in California there was like this highway that went through like the redwood forest or something like that,
And they
and Walmart
cut down trees to build a Walmart.
and Walmart couldn't get their trucks through on the like the high or like the road because it was like
What
because
the
they have
fuck?
Walmart has like the biggest trucks too
Yeah.
on the road.
Mhm.
They're like the longest trucks.
Yep.
So they couldn't get it through like the fucking. So they like
What
wanted,
the
they're like
fuck?
proposing like making like the highway like way bigger and shit, and like cutting a giant chunk of
Wait,
like
I
the
thought
redwood
that's like
forest.
under
Redwood
protection
forest.
now, though. I thought
I'm
I think
sure.
there's-
it's like they're the oldest trees on the planet, or
But you
something
gotta realize
like
it's
that.
Walmart. This is like one of
Oh
the
yeah,
a
they'll probably
giant,
sway anyone they
it's a
want.
giant corporate company. It's like, you know,
It's like, damn, you
Who
won't
the
let us
fuck
cut down this
knows?
tree? Here's $40 trillion. Can I cut down this tree? Word.
exactly. Yeah.
What about the three behind it?
I don't think redwoods too. Like their fucking roots get so like interlocked and shit. They have such like intense root systems.
They say
like,
it's
if you
all
cut-
basically one plant.
Yeah, you
at
cut
that
one out,
point.
a lot other ones are gonna,
They're gonna
end up
suffer.
dying.
Yeah, 'cause it starts rotting through the ground and
Yeah.
stuff.
California is crazy with their fucking like environment laws, man. So many things
They
like
want to take the emission law down.
emissions.
They wanna get
Emissions
rid
is
of
the
it.
biggest thing, man. Anything that like has an exhaust or something. You look online, search anything that like gives off any kind of smoke or anything like that, and I guarantee you can't have it shipped to California.
Mm-hmm.
It's he's here.
Says he is.
I'll go. You can stay.
My word.
Man. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of the emission laws in California. That's another. Everyone's like all pissed about it 'cause it's like, why? This is a good thing, not a bad thing.
You know, laugh so hard if mud went to my house. It's like, dude, I told you we're at Frank's.
But yeah,
Nah, he should know we're here because I told him we're doing a podcast. So
doing at your place. One of the stories, fuck Walmart.
I mean, Walmart's good for what it's there
Yeah.
for. Like, if you need like house appliance, like I don't ever go food shopping at Walmart. That's just like a personal thing of mine. It's like I might grab pasta, but I'm not grabbing like no fresh produce. I think one time when I couldn't find avocados anywhere around me, like Weiss didn't have them, Renders didn't have it, I went there and bought one bag.
You got like some slave avocados.
Yeah, they weren't even ripe. They were like, had to keep them out for a little bit so they'd soften up a bit.
GMO avocados. Oh yeah.
The GMOs have been GMO'd.
Genetically
By GMOs.
modified.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, it's crazy. GMOs, how they could like fucking modify shit to like be resistant to like pesticides
Yep.
and shit like that. It's nuts.
It's a different world we live in back since like the fucking 1800s and whatnot.
What do you think about pesticides, Frank?
About what?
Pesticides.
Dude, fuck pestis. Man, that's another thing that pisses me off. We had to start spraying a bunch of chemicals on all of our crops.
I was just saying how like we can create a fucking plant that's like resistant to pesticides. You can spray poison on it and it doesn't die because like we modified it that way.
That'd be
Yeah.
badass.
That
I,
already is.
I have a gallon
you're
of
saying-
Roundup that says different.
Oh no, you're saying about like just all of our crops. Yeah.
Monsanto
We can
corn and
smell-
shit like
Yeah,
that.
okay. Yeah, I see.
They also
what
spray
Monsanto-
stuff on certain crops so they become more resistant to harsher like climates. Like if there's a drought or something, like somehow they're still able to like just thrive and it's
Yeah.
whack.
I seen a picture the one day. It was like a picture of like native corn and a picture of like corn nowadays, and it doesn't even like look the same.
Hey, I
Yo, what's up, bro? I didn't know you were here, bro.
Hey.
I know.
This is Jake.
Welcome.
Jake Mudd
to the house.
in the
We
house.
got an extra. All right. Is that chair?
You're
Word.
good. Word. Yeah, you can grab a seat, grab a microphone if you want. If you don't want, you don't have to.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Can I hold up the cue card?
Now you fucked up.
He didn't even. He didn't even do anything wrong.
Yeah,
That's
relax.
good.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about having a conversation about pesticides on
Walmart, UFC fights,
yeah, there you
like kind
go.
of everything. Nutrition.
everything. Yep.
Walmart, pesticides, UFC, nutrition.
That was a good sentence. Yeah.
And fourth
Rap
class.
sentence. Jake Mudd, what's going on, my man?
What's
Not
up, bro?
much. How is everybody?
We're
I've been doing
good.
awesome. I actually had a really good day so far.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, word. Everyone seems to be doing pretty good.
Welcome to your first podcast.
It's
Right.
rare when you hear Mud say, "Guys, I've had a great day." It's
It
like,
was-
yes, that's when you know you need to be there. It's like, yes.
Must have been a good one.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But yeah, them pesticides, man. It's like,
How about them pesticides?
got interrupted. But no,
Are you talking about a specific pesticide?
no, just how we like decided that one day that we were, like, oh, we can just like preserve and like everything with like a bunch of chemicals. Okay, let's just spray it all over all nature that we grow.
Well, I know a lot of the reasons they started with a lot of certain pesticides is like when a lot of pesticides, like, what do you call that, invasive species came over and started just wiping out crops.
Yep,
Like,
a lot of bugs and shit were issues for sure. I understand why they did it. I just don't think, I mean, that comes down to like our other conversations about how like back then we weren't as educated. We had no idea that like this chemical was bad for everything else because it was helping the bug population, whatever the fuck it was. Even if it was another plant that was, that was growing, taking over, we use pesticides for shit like that, and it's like we never should have used what we used, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As much as we can bitch about pesticides.
So you want to talk about the FDA?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's where we're going.
Always
with this.
approving the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
really though.
They should have like more research before they can approve a chemical to treat anything.
Yeah, no, it definitely. And I think part of the reason for that is because it takes forever already to like get what the research that they have and shit like that, and then they just kind of want to get it in But it's you're right. They should just take more time.
they have all
Or
these
do it a
trials
different
and
way.
stuff before
It's-
they've even tested it. Really, it's like
Yeah.
they've had limited time to test it. And like all of a sudden, hey, you want to be on this trial? Like it says it might work, and like you got a bunch of people lined up, and
And
a
it's
lot of
like-
people just walking in their graves.
It's like about feeding like millions of
Exactly.
people.
You
and
can't
shit like
delay.
that.
Yeah.
So if it takes like I
Did-
don't know, 6 months to grow normal corn or 3 months to grow super corn, that might give you cancer. But if you grow the 6-month corn,
That they
to-
don't even look at. They're not even
Yeah.
gonna look at all that. They're just gonna be like, oh well, it kills these bugs, and we can grow it in 3. Okay, let's do that.
Let me tell you what it was like growing up for me in the early 90s, watching the news about like all the kids getting like cancer and stuff from the fertilizers
Oh,
in the
man.
fields and the pesticides, and all these companies trying to say it wasn't them, and then like you have scientists
Oh,
being like,
yeah.
yeah, this stuff is causing it, and like nothing's really changed.
I remember a lot of cases where like after they figured all that shit out and they started making laws against chemical and like just pollution, like dumping chemicals and
Mesothelioma.
just just pollution in general. And like you'd hear these cases of like a company would get caught like dumping these like 55-gallon
Oh my
drums of
God,
oil
yeah,
out
just,
their
like-
back door or something.
Or in the ocean,
Yep.
like, all right, this is big enough.
Because they were just like, oh, nobody's watching. How are they gonna prove it? And then all of a sudden, somebody would like watch them do it, and it's like, oh, now that company's fucked. It's like,
they're like, why are all the fish dead around here?
Yep, exactly.
Hey, why is that fish walking on land?
Some little
yeah.
fisherman was just like, hey, this looks like a good spot. Wait a second. Why is everything dead? They called the athletic commission. Athletic commission.
Get your ass down here. Test this water.
The fuck did I say? No. They call
they get
up
Dana White on the phone.
They call up the park rangers and they're just like, what's going on here? Why are all these fish dead? Fuck you, man. They call up Dana White. It's like-
Get Conor McGregor down
That's
here.
right. They'll
Beat
fix
this
it.
thing up.
Yeah.
Punch this dead fish.
Who the fuck is this guy?
His Irish accent.
Fuck you.
Boy. So what you up to, my man? You chilling for a while? We could round down a podcast and get into something else if you want.
We can round it off.
Yeah, man.
I will have to leave here around 8.
All right.
Other than that, I'm down.
Cool.
For
I mean,
whatever.
we got let's
Got like a whole
let's
hour.
round up this podcast. We could hang out, do
How
some
far
other
in
shit.
are we?
Oh, we're
Probably like an hour.
An hour, 57 minutes at the moment. One last
wow.
thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to shout out Joey Mafia again. He just got his album on all sorts of different platforms. His iTunes, he's got Spotify, all these different shit. So it's not you don't just have to buy the album anymore. You don't get it on just that one website. You can get it just about anywhere. So check that out for sure, because it's not costing you much at this point, and you probably already used the fucking platform that it's on. So it's like,
Put.
There you go.
so that's pretty much it. Other than that, we'll see you next podcast.
God bless.
God bless. He's always saying that, man.